Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Smackdown review with me, Mr. Parkin01. As it is the go-home show to Battleground, I'll also be giving my thoughts on that too throughout this review. And my main thought on this pay-per-view is that I am not looking really forward to it all that much, and I, quite frankly, will not be watching it. And throughout this review, I'm going to be giving different reasons as to why I won't be watching this pay-per-view, or why I feel this pay-per-view really doesn't deserve my time and or money. The first reason really is just when I hear the pay-per-view Battleground, it just reminds me of Over the Limit or Capital Punishment, pay-per-views that really don't matter all that much, that are just there to see if, you know, they can get some extra buy rates out of it. And I don't get the sense of an urgency when I hear this pay-per-view has only had 3 weeks worth of build, has only got 6 matches going into it. And again, the pay-per-view is called Battleground. It just sounds amateurish. It just sounds PG, like Capital Punishment and Over the Limit and other pay-per-views like that, and quite frankly, I don't care about those pay-per-views either. So we learned 3 things from this opening promo segment for this week's edition of SmackDown. Number 1 is that Triple H loves being in the opening segment of Raw and SmackDown ever since he's become this new heel COO type, Vince McMahon type character. He loves being in the opening segments of, you know, Raw and SmackDown lately. I don't know if you've noticed, but that's generally been the case. Number 2 of the things we learned in this promo segment is the Big Show doesn't have a mortgage anymore because Triple H quite happily paid it off for him and let him off for that little, you know, scuffle they had on Raw this week. And the third thing we learned is that it didn't really build to the pay-per-view, did it? I mean, while this storyline is being kind of well cultivated between Triple H and Big Show, it didn't really hype up to Battleground at all. We got the news that the main event was going to be The Shield and Randy Orton versus a borderline lunatic giant. That borderline lunatic giant being crying, the Big Show. It's a real shame, in my opinion, that Fandango has become one of the long list of characters in WWE that has started off with great momentum, has just become irrelevant over time. I mean, I've just seen Johnny Curtis, aka Fandango, do some really good work in NXT, and what was one of the most entertaining segments I've seen all year with Santino Marella, Emma, and Summer Rae. I guarantee you go watch this week's edition of NXT, which I will be reviewing tomorrow night, but he did some good work on that show. And when I see Fandango in that kind of spot in NXT doing work like that, I wonder why he's a jobber. Why he's pretty much become meaningless on the roster now. And he had a match against RVD, which thankfully ended in a DQ, so no one had to do a clean job here. I think more matches involving young heels like Fandango should end that way. And RVD ends up hitting the coast-to-coast with the trash can on Fandango, hyping up that, you know, he's going to be in a Hardcore Rules match against Alberto Del Rio on Sunday. As for Del Rio and RVD, I still don't care about it. I mean, it's a Hardcore Rules match. I really don't care all that much about Alberto Del Rio. And even if I really did care about RVD, which I don't, I would still probably not care about this match at all. And anyway, supposedly RVD's dates are going to be coming up soon on his short-term contract. So I definitely think that RVD is going to lose this match and Del Rio is going to win. I think the only question really is, if RVD is going to be going, are they going to have Ricardo Rodriguez turn on RVD and go back with Del Rio? I guess that's my only real guided question going into this match that I don't really care about. So Ryback faced Curtis Axel's opponent, R-Truth, in a match, and quite predictably, the bully won. Although apparently, in Paul Heyman's words, R-Truth was the bully. Maybe because he says, "What's up? What's up?" Kind of like another character here on the British Miss NJ, even though he's one of the nicest guys ever, and there's no way in hell a bully. But there we go. As for the match between Curtis Axel and R-Truth, why should I care about this match? I mean, this has got last-minute build written all over it. Right now, I'm not all that bold about Curtis Axel because it just doesn't seem like WWE are. As for R-Truth, last time he was relevant was in 2011 when he was a heel and was with Awesome Truth. It's nearly 2 years now since R-Truth was relevant, so why the fuck should I care about him in this match? As for Punk versus Ryback, you know, on this card, I guess this is supposed to be kind of a big match, but to me, it's just bleh. I mean, Ryback as this heel, CM Punk I like a lot, but putting him against Ryback, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot barge pole, people. Although I do have some interest in the fact that it could lead to maybe a Team Punk versus Team Heyman at Survivor Series. I'm hoping. You know, out of Dolph Ziggler and Alberto Del Rio, who are one-on-one on this week's edition of SmackDown, you can tell who WWE prefer. I mean, compare Del Rio and Ziggler from 6 months ago to where they are now. Del Rio was in the World Heavyweight Championship scene 6 months ago. Once again, he's in the World Heavyweight Championship scene 6 months down the line. Dolph Ziggler was the Money in the Bank winner and actually cashed it in on Del Rio and now is reduced to the pre-show. So you got Del Rio was up here, and Ziggler, who was a babyface, has just gone from there to there. So you can kind of see who WWE prefer, and I'll give you his clue. His name is not Dolph Ziggler, I will say that. One thing I will say about this match, though, even though it reminds me of old pastures with Dolph Ziggler and Del Rio and a match we've seen so many times, at least the match was somewhat competitive and went some way to make Dolph Ziggler look good, which is a good thing. At least they're allowing Ziggler to look decent against the World Heavyweight Champion rather than it being a squash match. I don't know whether WWE are still punishing Dolph Ziggler or whatever, maybe why he's on the pre-show facing Damien Sandow. And you know what? When I look at Sandow and Ziggler, Money in the Bank winner versus previous Money in the Bank winner, I think they could have made some good program out of this, a good storyline, but instead it's just kind of stuck on the pre-show. When I see Dolph Ziggler versus Damien Sandow on a pay-per-view, I think to myself, man, this could be a decent mid-card storyline. But instead I'm seeing it in a last-minute match, probably to give Damien Sandow a victory, even though they never seem to ever give Damien Sandow a victory ever since he won Money in the Bank. I'm seeing a pattern here, WWE, and I'm just not that bothered about it, being on the pre-show. Okay. Even though they're not going to be involved at the pay-per-view, one thing I liked about this week's edition of SmackDown was I got my first glimpse of Los Matadores. And I must admit, I do like Los Matadores. I love the entrance with the obviously fake bull, which is probably a Latino version of Hornswoggle for all we know. But the gimmick and the way they wrestle and the style, I like it. And they defeated 3MB pretty easily. And you know, like I said, I don't really have too much to say about the match, but Los Matadores, in my opinion, I do like the gimmick, I must admit, I really do. One of two matches that I kind of care about on this Battleground is Goldust and Rhodes versus The Shield. If Goldust and Cody win, they'll be reinstated by WWE. If The Shield wins, Dusty will lose his job as an NXT trainer and the Rhodes family will be banned from WWE. I would actually be looking forward to this match if the WWE gave me enough reasons to care about Battleground other than this and the main event match. So this has been done really well, in my opinion. I would be really looking forward to that. Shame the tag titles aren't on the line, but I guess this is being done so Goldust and Cody Rhodes can win, and I don't think they really want to give the tag titles to Goldust, who's probably only going to be there short term, and Cody Rhodes, so they probably want to push a little bit further. I say Goldust and Cody Rhodes are going to win this one and get their jobs back. I can't see the Shield winning this one. If they were going to win, the tag titles will be on the line. So then they could kill two birds with one stone there. But this is one of the few matches on the card I think WWE have done a really good job cultivating with some storyline and a long-term storyline. And shame the blow-off is probably going to be happening at a filler pay-per-view like Battleground, even though, let's face it, Battleground does need some hooks. I guess Brie Bella is now a babyface. Ever since Brie's relationship with Daniel Bryan has been recognized, she's a babyface now because Daniel Bryan's now a babyface. Okay, you know, I like the fact that AJ Lee came out after Brie Bella beat Axana and started doing exactly what Brie Bella and the other Bella used to do to all the other divas. And it's like, oh, we're supposed to forgive them now. It kind of reminds me of what Fool Killer keeps saying about Velvet Sky, when you're supposed to feel sympathy for someone who's been dishing it out for many years. You know, how can you feel sympathy for that kind of character? You know, you can't just sympathize with someone overnight when their character has just done a drastic shift. I don't know, but AJ Lee versus Brie Bella at the pay-per-view. It's another match I'm just don't care about, people. I just don't. Big E Langston versus Kofi Kingston. A match which Kofi Kingston won very quickly with a roll-up or something. I wasn't paying too much attention, if I'm honest with you, because it was kind of a filler segment. I take it that Kofi and the Wyatt family are in some kind of program now, which at least is some kind of direction for the Wyatt family, while Kane is out, while Kane is just returning. Maybe this will be a filler match to Battleground. I don't know. I'm not sure if Kofi Kingston is the best person they could put a Bray Wyatt up against, but at least it's something for two characters, in my opinion, Bray Wyatt and Kofi Kingston, that have been directionless lately, and in Kofi Kingston's case, for many years now. Randy Orton and The Shield versus Big Show. I must admit, I wasn't too interested in this match, mainly because I kind of knew how it would go down. I knew that Big Show would get his shots in on The Shield, and The Shield would team up, and the numbers game would eventually take out Big Show, which would enable Daniel Bryan to come out. I kind of knew that would be the way this segment would go down as soon as I saw this being booked. And as I expected, the match ended in a DQ. Orton and The Shield get one over on Big Show after Roman Reigns hits the "Believe in the Shield! Spear!" And out comes the Usos. I love Samoa! I love Samoa to distract Reigns and Rollins. And then Daniel Bryan comes in to hit his running knee on Dean Ambrose. Yes, 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 yes. While Orton slithers away. As for this main event match, it was a decent match, as you'd usually expect from SmackDown. Some good angle advancement, even getting the Usos involved to some degree. I wonder if they're going to be a tag team title contender going down the line, even though it should be the primetime players, in my opinion. As for Orton and Bryan at Battleground with the vacant WWE Championship down the line, I must admit my interest in this team, these two face-off, has dwindled somewhat. I think my interest was at its peak when it was at Night of Champions, and lately I don't know why. I guess it's just my interest just has gone from there to like there, so I'm still kind of interested, just not as interested as I was like maybe a month ago. Maybe you guys are, because it's Daniel Bryan in the main event of WWE, and I'm always interested when that happens. I don't know, but there we go. So yeah, so this SmackDown was an okay going show with the 6 matches they've actually got announced for the pay-per-view, but you'd expect a couple more matches, and you're going to get the typical WWE filler matches, and I don't even know what I'm talking about because I'm not even going to fucking watch the pay-per-view anyway. So Battleground doesn't look very good. Give me your thoughts down in the comment section below on this week's edition of SmackDown and your thoughts going into Battleground if you're going to watch it. And I wouldn't blame you if you didn't watch it, really. And to be honest, if NJ is watching this video and he's out there, I feel sorry for NJ for watching this pay-per-view. And I feel sorry that I have to put him through the pain of watching this WWE filler pay-per-view. NJ, I'm sorry. As for me, Mr. Parkin, right now, thank you very much for watching this review. Comment down below. Goodbye.